The concept of a satanic new world order making out global warming to control us is a baseless conspiracy theory that has been circulating on the internet and among certain groups. According to this theory, a group of powerful individuals and organizations are secretly working together to create a one-world government that would control every aspect of our lives. Proponents of this theory claim that global warming is a hoax created by this group to manipulate public opinion and implement policies that would lead to a loss of individual freedoms and a gain in power for the alleged conspirators. However, there is no credible evidence to support this claim. Global warming, also known as climate change, is a well-documented and widely accepted scientific fact. The overwhelming majority of climate scientists agree that human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, are releasing large amounts of greenhouse gases, including carbon dioxide and methane, into the atmosphere, leading to global average temperature increase of over 1 degree C since the late 19th century. The evidence for global warming is extensive and comes from multiple lines of research, including temperature records, shrinking ice sheets, glacier retreat, sea level rise, and shifts in the distribution of plants and animals. The scientific consensus on climate change is clear, and it is not a topic of debate among reputable scientists. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, which is made up of thousands of scientists from around the world, has concluded that it is extremely likely that human activities are the dominant cause of the observed warming since the mid-20th century. Despite the overwhelming evidence, some individuals and groups continue to spread misinformation and conspiracy theories about global warming. These claims are often based on cherry-picked data, flawed assumptions, and a lack of understanding of the scientific process. They also often rely on emotional appeals and scare tactics, rather than factual information and logical reasoning. One of the main tactics used by proponents of the Satanic New World Order conspiracy theory is to claim that climate change is a natural phenomenon and that human activities have little to no impact on the climate. They often point to natural climate variability, such as changes in solar radiation and volcanic eruptions, as the primary drivers of climate change. However, this argument ignores the fact that human activities are releasing massive amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which are amplifying the natural climate variability and leading to the observed warming trend. Another tactic used by proponents of this theory is to claim that the push to address climate change is a plot to implement a one-world government and restrict individual freedoms. They often point to international agreements, such as the Paris Agreement, as evidence of this alleged plot. However, these agreements are voluntary and aim to address a global problem that requires international cooperation. They are not a plot to create a one-world government, but rather a recognition of the fact that climate change is a global issue that requires a global response. In conclusion, the idea that the Satanic New World Order is making up global warming to control us is a baseless conspiracy theory that has no credible evidence to support it. Global warming is a real and well-documented scientific fact, and the evidence for it is overwhelming. The scientific consensus on climate change is clear, and this is not a topic of debate among reputable scientists. Rather than spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories, we should be working together to address the real and pressing issue of climate change and to implement policies that would reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate its impacts. By doing so, we can create a more sustainable and equitable future for all, rather than buying into baseless conspiracy theories that only serve to divide and confuse us.